This is the Canon EOS R, the very first mirrorless camera that Canon released. Fun fact about this camera, when it first came out, I was actually a Canon sales rep. So they gave one to me for free just to test it out, to learn everything I can about it. So I was responsible for learning this camera front to back. Granted, I did have to give it back when I stopped working there, but for a whole year I got to take it to different shoots, different projects, and really test it out pretty thoroughly. Even after I stopped working there and I had to give my company camera back, I bought 3 more EOS Rs to run my business with. And before that, I had a very cheap entry-level Nikon that I first started out with. Now, not only was this my first mirrorless camera, but it was also my first full frame camera. So naturally, I was blown away and I never looked back. Now, when this camera first came out, it was the go-to for people like Peter McKinnon, Matty Apoya. Canon would send these cameras out to all these big influencers and everybody would have very positive things to say about it. It's been about 6 or more years since then, and if you didn't know, Canon has actually decided to discontinue this camera. It's bad news if you want to get it new, but if you buy your gear used, the price of this camera has dropped significantly. At the time of this recording, I did a little bit of research and I saw these cameras going for anywhere between $800 to $1,200 on Facebook Marketplace, which is a huge drop than what it was before. I buy most of my gear on Facebook Marketplace and prices may vary depending on what platform you're using, when you're watching this video, and also what location you might be in. But the EOS R got a pretty significant price drop no matter which platform you're searching for gear. This is the same camera, believe it or not, that people were spending a little less than $2 grand over just a few years ago. Now, is this camera outdated and discontinued for a reason? Or is this the best deal you can get on a Canon full frame right now? Now let's start with the image quality. The EOS R is a very good stills camera. It has a 33 megapixel sensor with very good low light performance. So you can shoot knowing comfortably that even if it gets a little dark or even if you have to crop in slightly, this resolution also makes it great for landscape and street photography. The build quality is still very well with this camera. Even though it's a little bit smaller, it has a very good grip and it has that swivel LCD screen that all the Canons have. It also has a screen up top. It shows what mode you're in and a few basic settings like shutter, ISO, and aperture. Some people don't like this mode dial, but it just comes down to personal preference. It also has a really nice viewfinder up top, and this comes in clutch especially when you're shooting on really bright days and the LCD might not get bright enough. I have no complaints when it comes to the image quality itself from this camera. The colors and the sharpness of these raw files match up really well to newer, more expensive cameras of today. Now, I will say the autofocus isn't as good as the R5 or the R3, but with a significant price drop, it's definitely worth it. It still has eye autofocus and tracking and dual pixel, and so it'll still hold up, especially if you're shooting portraits or certain events. Overall, it has a lot to offer, especially at this cheaper price point. Now, a few negatives about this camera that are worth looking at is if you're primarily using it for video. I'm not a huge fan of the video capabilities of the R, but it is by no means a bad video camera. It doesn't have 4K 60 and it is still limited by that 30-minute record time. But if you're primarily a video user that does some pretty heavy video work, especially if you have multiple cameras that you're looking to match in post, this might not be the best option. Now, for whatever reason, the EOS R's color codec and white balance settings are so much different. It's a little harder to match, and from what I've seen, it has a bit of a green tint to it. It's similar to a camera like the A7 III by Sony. Now, it's definitely doable to match it in post, but if you're picking up the EOS R as a secondary to an R6 or an R5, then you're gonna have to do a little bit more work in maybe setting your white balance beforehand, a custom white balance on all the cameras, as well as a little bit of color grading in post just to make sure the colors line up. Keeping that consistency between cameras is pretty important, especially if you're delivering it to clients. Speaking of delivering to clients, one huge thing that a lot of people did not like about this camera is that it only has 1 card slot. This is very important to a lot of photographers, and rightfully so. Many Canon photographers are holding off on switching to mirrorless just because this one didn't have 2 SD card slots. And for a lot of event photographers, this makes perfect sense because you can't redo a wedding, you can't redo specific events like you can with maybe a portrait shoot in case you lose the files. And so having that second SD card slot just for safety was huge for a lot of photographers. Many people held out and just waited for the R5 and R6 to come out with the dual SD card slots to really be using it in more professional event type settings. Another minor inconvenience about this camera is this slider that they decided to introduce to the back of the camera. Now, this wasn't a huge deal for most people. It wasn't very helpful to a lot of people, but a lot of people were also very indifferent to it. This is something that Canon was testing out, similar to the touch bars in the MacBook Pros that they used to have. You can customize this slider pretty well to any setting. A lot of people were accidentally touching it and it would mess with their settings, and so what happened is most people just turned it off altogether. Since then, Canon has not reintroduced this sliding touch bar to any of its previous cameras, but it is a minor thing about the EOS R that not many other cameras have. So who is this camera actually for? Out of these new releases, the cameras that are most comparable to the EOS R is probably the R7 and the R8. The R7 and the R8 come in at around $1,500, but if you can pick up the EOS R for a little more than half of that, then I would say it's well worth it. So if you're looking for a very solid full frame camera for an entry-level price, the R really can't be beat, especially if you find a good deal on it in the used market for under $1,000, then it's definitely well worth it. So let me know if you plan on picking one of these up with a significant price drop now that it's discontinued. Hopefully you enjoyed the video or found it helpful. If you want to check out any of the gear I use, I have links down in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. To the 5 people still watching, I'll see you next time.